I got it. I got it.
Okay.
Okay. Go for it. Okay, IPMS Toronto, show and tell.
All right. All right. Actually, well, these ones are from our friend Bill Dingle. He sent a few over. Obviously, he's not here to speak about it, but I know I've been following him on Facebook, and the guy's just been churning out some amazing work lately. So
yeah, big 72nd Brailer. So a long time IPMS. I don't think he's on the calls, but these are his latest. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic work. There's a quarter. It's not quarter scale, but a 1/4 scale. Next up, we had Gary.
All right, Gary.
Yeah, I can speak to these little beasts. I wasn't naturally born a tread head. I just got into armor a few years ago. I've always tried and never was happy with my end product, but we're coming along with some patient tutoring by Harvey and some other helpful people.
Looks great.
And thank you. Anyhow, this is a Tamiya 1/35 scale Renault R35, done basically right out of the box. The only thing I did to it was the tools are kind of all molded together on one plate, and they shouldn't be. They should be separate. So I just separated them out. And it's painted with Tamiya acrylics. It was airbrushed, masked using the masking putty. There's various types on the market. I think the one I used was either MIG or AK. I can't remember. It worked very well.
Those black lines again, Gary. The black separate.
Those black lines. I don't know if there's any Gundam modelers out here, but those people that do that kind of thing have a lot of color paint markers. And I purchased one of those from our local hobby shop here, and I used that. I had read Brett Green.
Yeah.
Brett Green's build, and he used a Sharpie, but it didn't work out so well for him. He had problems with a lot of bleed through because of the ink. This is a paint. It actually worked out very well for me. I think, anyways, I'm happy with it.
Great.
And it made it a lot easier than trying to paint it by hand, I think, for me, anyways. I don't weather too much, especially these wouldn't have. I don't think they would have been around all that long, or they would have been captured by the Germans and re-employed. So I went kind of very light on the weathering, a little bit on the tracks and light dust on the fenders, some chips and scratching, but that's about it. It was a really nice kit to build. I highly recommend it. You can flip to the next picture if you want.
This is cool.
This is MiniArt's. They call it the US bulldozer. It's a Caterpillar. It does have Caterpillar markings on it. When you open up the box, you can see it just behind the front radiator. But the kit doesn't indicate that it's a Caterpillar. It's a D7. And I did it in a color that was used on a lot of equipment back in the 50s and 60s. It was called Highway Yellow. And I went again kind of light on the weathering, like they would have come out of the factory with the tracks even painted. Obviously, I wore the tracks off and put some scratching and scuffing on there. I added some details to the diesel engine, injection lines and things like that, but they're on the other side. You can't see them. I put the little flapper on top of this exhaust stack, which you'll see on a lot of construction equipment of the time. And what you can't see in that picture is there's an clear in front of the driver's seat. There's an air filter housing and it has a clear bowl on it. It's molded gray plastic in the kit. And I just put a clear acrylic piece in to simulate that. It is a really nice kit, guys. If you ever get the itch to do a bulldozer, it's not an easy kit to build, but everything fits. It's got a lot of pieces and you'll open up the box and kind of have a little baby freak out, but it all goes together, including the tracks. The tracks are beautiful. Each track is its own individual pad with its own 3-piece, all the pads on a bulldozer like this fixed to what they call the track chain underneath. It's not like a tank where it's built to be light and quick. It doesn't matter. Construction equipment, they actually want it heavy. So those plates mount to the track chain, and that's all individual. There's probably close to 200 pieces in each track. But what a magnificent model. I wish MiniArt would do a D8, maybe do some other Caterpillars. I really had a lot of fun with it.
Gorgeous.
Sorry, I have a question.
Yeah.
Hi, Gary.
Yeah.
Highway yellow, is it a color that you mix or is you can buy it off the shelf?
Actually, Mission Models, believe it or not, makes it. I did not know that. I mixed it. It's an orangey yellow. I wouldn't get too hung up on the exact shade of it because different manufacturers, I'm sure, would be slightly different from one another, unless they had the same paint supplier. But it is definitely an orangey yellow. If you were to look at more modern Caterpillar equipment, Caterpillar's color is almost a brown yellow now. It's not at all orangey like these machines were.
And what's your mix ratio? You basically mix orange with yellow?
Basically, it was Tamiya paints. It was their gloss yellow with a little bit of the orange added in to like sort of caught my eye as being in the zone of where I thought it should be, you know?
I see.
Yeah.
I find
right,
yellow a
great. Thank
hard. I find yellow a hard color. It requires a lot of coats. Did you find it difficult to apply?
No, actually, I didn't find it too bad at all. It has a couple of different colors underneath it. It has like a red oxide primer underneath. I was playing around a little bit with the hairspray chipping under the bottom plate between the tracks. There's some plates there that sort of armor up the belly of the bulldozer so it can kind of slide over things. I didn't really have a lot of difficulty covering it. I'm using the self-leveling thinner from Gunzy in my Tamiya acrylics, and I really like how that works out for me.
All right, let's see who was up next. Thank you very much, Gary. I had some on Renzo. I'll post those all online so you guys can see them at least more. Looks like 16s, F4, Corsair, typical Lorenzo stuff.
Renzo's not on? No, I don't see him.
No, I don't see him. Richard, where are you? Thought I saw Richard on here before.
Yeah, he's here.
It's been quiet.
Over to you, Richard.
Over to you, yeah.
Oh, it's again, something from the stash from a very long time ago. This was issued in 1970, I believe. There's the original wrapping. I did one of these about a year ago, and this is a second one that I had. One was in the original baggie. One was a reissue from, I don't know, 20 years later. If you can find one in the bag, go for it. The 20-year-old molds were showing it and required a lot more tidying up, but the original ones are quite nice and crisp. Mind you, it's a very basic Airfix kit. I think there you go. There's your instructions. I imagine most of you can remember the joy of prying out the staples and unfolding it and having a look at it. This is the finished product.
Beautiful.
Wow.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, the first one I did.
That looks great.
Russian East Front markings. These are Condor Legion markings. The cockpit is just a badly molded chair. So everything inside I scratch built. I opened up the side hatches a bit. Did some work on the engine. Did some work underneath, bits and pieces here and there. Most of it are the decals that came with the reissue kit. They give you the Condor marking decals, and they're quite nice. The tail I did I marked it and spray painted it rather than trying to put the decal on it.
Yeah, wise move. I kid you not, Richard. I was looking at this kit, the Airfix kit, though the box version, literally this afternoon at Panther Hobbies. I almost bought it, so it's over at Panther if somebody wants one. But it's the box version.
Well, it's fun. It's simple in a way. The gas tank, the extra gas tank underneath, I added some hatches You can't see the one on the top, but the drain hatch on the bottom you can see. A few other bits and pieces. The tail wheel has a I want to say an oleo or something, but anyway, you can add that in. There's stuff you can do with it that's it doesn't take a lot, yet it can be a lot of fun. The ribs are very prominent, so I sanded them down a little bit to take some of the prominence away, and then tried to dirty it up a little bit to make it a little better. The cockpit is all scratch built, and that was kind of fun.
Nice.
Did you use Humbrolls?
No, these are actually Tamiya, and I'll say this is my second attempt at spray painting.
It looks great. Really.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, the
kind of,
reason why I asked about the Humbrol is, if going for that way back vibe, it would have been cool to say. And on top of that, I dug out the old Humbrolls to paint it.
well, as it happens, Vince, I've got about 40 old Humbrol tins that are still viable, but I'm afraid to put them in the airbrush.
Yeah.
I thought, well, someday I'll give it a try.
Yep.
But they're so gummy that I've got to really thin them out with turpentine or something. So.
By the way, AK now makes brand new pre-World War II Luftwaffe colors, just these, and they're fantastic. What is it? RLM 61, 62, 63. They're beautiful colors. So if you want something alternate to Tamiya, they're by the AK line.
Oh, great. Thank you, Harv.
Mm.
Anyway, it's fun, and
beautiful
sometimes you can do fun things with old kits.
That's what you want.
All right, and then last up was Stepan, which was he was a new member. Doesn't look like he was going to join us tonight.
Whoa, nice. Stepan, are you on? I know I talked to you in the email. Is he on?
No,
Is that Newport 11? What is that?
Yeah, what is
No, it's
that?
a more install new bullet.
Oh, it's a
Nice.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you're right.
Let me check my email, see if he emailed
Newport
me.
11. What an idiot I am.
It is.
Yeah.
This is it's a 1 to 1/44 scale version of the ship. That was it's a Bandai kit. So I did this in between a couple other kits I was doing, and I like this kit from the Star Wars universe. It's a kind of a cool looking kit, and I like the show, so I thought I'd do it. And it's simple to put together. It's like a no-brainer, right? So it's strictly just it's like it can be a snap fit, but I used glue here and there to kind of seal it up a bit more.
What color is that there, David? What color is that?
This is the base color here it's the metallic gray from Tamiya. It's actually, I really like this color for this sort of stuff, because the ship, if you've seen the show, the ship doesn't exactly appear to be like an aluminum or a really bright, shiny metal. It's sort of a dulled down type of metal. And I use some of the other Tamiya metallics in there, like I used a gold. I think this is like a brass or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And I used the kit. They're stickers. They're not really decals, right? So to add to it, right? I'll just flip through these quickly here. So I just did it was a lot of fun. It's a little kit. It's cute. I'm waiting for the 72nd scale to come out, because I really do like the way the shape of this particular craft is, right? I did some weathering on it because it's supposed to be pretty beat up at the point when I was looking at it, like season 1, like I think it was like episode 6 or so. Like it's pretty beat up. The cockpit and canopy isn't exactly. It is what it is. It's 1 to 144 scale. So all you can do is paint it, right? But what I did is I added a dollop of epoxy, like resin epoxy, right? And it makes it shine, right? Gives it the appearance of there being some sort of like glass covering or something on it, right? So anyway, so it's a decent looking kit. It's not very big, as you can see, right? So it's kind of tiny, but it's a lot of fun, right? Then I've got Donald Shepard's. I think it's Donald. Yeah, it's Donald Shepard's Corsair, right? This is the Tamiya kit, and it's
Nice.
what's it, F4, I guess it's a Corsair Mark II, right? Now this kit is about, my wife bought this for me when we were still dating, right? And that kind of gives you an idea how long it takes me to finish a kit, right? So because she bought this from she bought this from Dave Brown's place back in 2011, right? So it's literally like it's like a decade old, right? But it wasn't until talking to a couple people online and also talking to Kyle at Wheels and Wings that I realized I could turn the Pappy Boyington Corsair, because it had the parts in it, right, into a Corsair Mark II. I just had to do some sanding on the wings to sand down the length of the wings and that type of stuff. Uh-oh, what did I do there? Screen sharing has stopped. Shared with, oh, I closed the window. Sorry, guys. Hold on a second. Let me open that back up. Yeah, so what had happened was, there we are, and let me just reshare. My apologies. This is all new to me. So there we go. There it is. Okay, so you guys should see that now. So yeah, so I sanded it down and I did some other other small adjustments to it. Nothing major. I didn't really do much to it, and painted it. I got the decals. I think they're print scale. I'm a little bit disappointed because you could see some silvering here. Like next time I would do something like this, I'm just going to mask and paint it. I'm not going to bother with the decals from the manufacturer. But I haven't put together a Tamiya kit in a while. So finishing this one off really made me feel good. And the canopy wasn't in the kit. The canopy is one of the squadron backform canopies, right? And I did a bit of weathering on it, right? Tried out some things. Played with. I really like using pigments, right? I don't know about anybody else. I know people might not like them. I like them, right? And that was it, right, for her.
Are those Fleet Air Arm markings?
Yeah, they're. I think, what was he on? He was on. Was it the Illustrious? I can't remember. He was the. I think the last. He was the only Canadian Corsair ace. Right. So I think, and he shot his last aircraft down in 45, I think it was. Right. So it was pretty close to the end of the war. Right.
That's 72 scale?
Yeah, 72nd. Right. So I usually work strictly in 72nd just because I like it and I can fit stuff. Stuff into my place, right?
Tell me about it. Yeah.
I don't think I'm gonna be able to fit that 32nd scale. Was it who's making the is it not Border Models? Who's making that Lancaster in 32nd? HK did it, but now we know who's got the wingnut wings kit that's coming out. So
think of this Border. Oh, nice.
Yeah. Okay, now this one here is the old Italeri CF-5, right? The decals are strictly from the kit, so it's supposed to be it's supposed to be Moose Squadron, right? I think it's a
CF-5, isn't it?
Yeah. See, it's the CF-5, and it's the it's the F5 kit, but it's the CF-5 decals, right? And the kit's a decent kit, right? The kit's a decent kit, but it's I had some difficulties with it. One being the color callouts.
Okay, so it's working.
In the color callouts in the on the kit on the back of the Italeri box, because I matched them up to the Vallejo Model Air, and this is supposed to be like a medium gray, and it's even in person it doesn't look like a medium gray. So, but I said, "Oh, forget it. I'm just going to keep going." Right. So, in this one, I replaced the gun barrels with micro brass tube because it just looked better. The cockpit, I did the canopy up, the seat up, resin seat. So.
But do you want to take your earphones off? You can. I'll turn the TV off.
Sorry, Eric, I should have given you hosting duties.
Go ahead. I'll go in the other room if you start blabbing.
Yeah. Need to able to mute some people from time to time.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. That's
Hey,
better.
Lorenzo, turn off your microphone.
So,
All right.
There we go.
So I did some washes on this. I've been having difficulty with like panel lines and washes and stuff, right? It's just, I've tried different products and I can't seem to get anything that's decent. And a lot of times it ends up just being a mess, right? And I'm getting frustrated by it, but I'm sure I'll get it eventually. It's, you know, once I find something that works, I'm going to keep using that, right? Anyway, so the cockpit's really nice.
Are you trying to use like off-the-shelf pre-mixed washes?
Yeah, sometimes, yeah, for the most part. Like I've tried the MIG and AK stuff, and I'm not really happy with those for panel lines.
Yeah.
The Tamiya one I like, but I also think sometimes it might be a bit too heavy-handed on some things. So I have considered going back to just using oils.
Oils are the best there, David. By far. Yeah, by far, oils are the best.
You know, it's
You
just
have
been
the most control with oil.
Yeah.
Then that's probably the way I'll go in the future, because it's just getting annoying, right?
Try Winsor Newton there, David. Winsor Newton oils. Just try some of their darker shades.
Yeah, I've got some of those. I just gotta thin them down, right?
Thin them down with Humbrol Center. That works well.
All right, and this
Lighter
is
fluid.
this is current. Oh, make them flammable. This is currently what I've got to take care of on. This is the 72nd scale Italeri Sunderland Mark III.
Ooh, that's gonna be
So yeah, this is just one of the wings, and this here is the Edward external set for it. So all of these little puppies here, all of them have to go on to each top and bottom of the wing. So it's a little bit tedious.
Wow.
It's a bit tedious, right? But hopefully it'll turn out really nice. I like the kit so far. It's just
David?
taking me time. Yeah.
Are those just, is that a plain disc or is it detailed in any way? Those little discs, yeah, what are those?
It's just a plain disc, Vince. I'm pretty sure. Let me just zoom in here and see. Hopefully you guys can see this.
You know,
There you go.
Just a thought. You're clipping that off and then you're having to clean it up with a file, right? Just a little? Or no?
No, not really. Like I'm using like a very sharp edge, so I'm getting pretty close to the side.
I was thinking if it's just a plain, if you just had a one of those punch sets.
Yeah, I do actually. I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, because otherwise I don't know, what's everybody else's, I don't know, just a thought.
That's a good idea, actually. I mean, I'd never considered that.
And if you're going with thin styrene, what happened? What just happened? We're looking at this CF-5 again.
Oh, no. Sorry. There you go. How's that?
So just a thought, if you punch them out of styrene, thin enough styrene, it's just a quick touch with the thin weld.
Yeah.
As opposed,
true enough.
what are you using right now?
Super glue. You know, CA, right?
Yeah.
So
I don't know, just a thought.
Yeah, it's a better bond too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just zooming in myself here, Dave, on the.
Everybody see that?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So this is the brand new, about a month, 2 months out, 172nd Tachikawa Ki-54 Hickory. And I was asked to do this as a review and build for scale aircraft modeling. It's a long-awaited aircraft for 172nd Japanese fans. They don't make one in any other scale either. So this is the first 172nd injection of this aircraft outside of some resin ones that were pretty bad done about 20 years ago.
Sorry, were there any vac forms done?
Not that I know of, only a pretty bad AV resin one. So if you want this aircraft, this is the kit and it's out now. I think it's about $45, something like that, Canadian. And I'm doing this one here. For those of you not familiar, these are surrender markings for General Baba's surrender aircraft at the end of the war. Just a little bit of trivia. Don't know if this is true, but the fuselage Hinamarus had the white cross applied over them. Some people think it was by Allied ground crew and not Japanese crew because they wouldn't apply it over their national marking. Japanese crew applied the cross outside of the Hinamaru on the wings. So that's just a bit of trivia. I don't know how true that is, but there may be some merit to it. Gives you an idea the type of aircraft this is. It's kind of like a Lockheed 10. Okay, close up of the camouflage finish. Some of the surrender crew. Some of the photos of the inside.
Harv, can you go back? Can you go back one slide? Can
Yeah.
you?
Yep.
I'm just, wow, those crosses were done in a hurry, eh?
Yep. Yep. So be aware that not all of these things, the only markings, if you do Japanese aircraft, the only ones that generally were well done and applied were the Hinamarus. Everything else was less so.
Look at those guys under the wing.
Yeah. These are the Americans, right? Now behave. They probably got M1 Grands, you know, who knows. Inside the interior of Hickory, pretty rare photo. This is the aircraft that they salvaged about 6 to 8 years ago in a freshwater lake in Japan after all these years. Because it was in fresh water, look at how bright the Hinamaru is. This aircraft is very well preserved in the fresh water. It crashed in 43, I believe, killing the crew. I think one escaped. So they dug it up, they found it, and it's in the Misawa Aviation Museum in northern Japan. That's another view of the aircraft pull out of the water. Look how bright the wing IDs are. It's just brilliantly salvaged. This is the kit itself.
Harv,
Yeah.
that Hinamaru, go back one more.
That one?
Is that more brown than people?
They were a reddish brown, but they did vary, right? So you can't. Well, can you use pure red? I wouldn't. I would add some brown to it, but you know there was no hard and fast rules. Anyways, this is the kit itself, 72nd scale. Again, about the size of a Lockheed 10. Surface detail is pretty good, but don't let that fool you because there's some limits to this kit. So that's kind of like old mold technology. They don't use the slide molding, so you get these nacelles where you got to fill it, unlike if you were to get a Tamiya kit. So it is kind of like a limited run, but if you want the kit, that's the only game in town now. But don't let these looks deceive you because it's a pretty bad kit. And I'll show you in a sec. It looks great on the sprues. They give you wheels for different versions. There's another version coming out. There's a ton of gaps. That's supposed to match up with that. So the kit is just does not fit. There's a gap here between the cabin floor and this bulkhead here. You can't really see it, thank God. There's another gap here. It is not a good fitting kit. It's a brand new kit, but the box art looks great, but it is, you better be prepared for some building, and I'll show you more. Here's an example where there's no clear demarcation between the seat backing and the sprues, so you have nowhere idea to cut it. And there's quite a few seats, so they'll be uneven. The floor itself has these little locator pins. Cut them all off because they don't fit. These don't go in there. I have no idea why they did that. But there you go. Look at that. These are landing light. Top half does not match bottom half. So you have to fix that. Look, that is horrible. That is as out of the box. The engine nacelle is way too forward of the nacelle itself. The cowling, sorry. The fit is really poor. Wing root, very bad fit. The only thing that worked out was the bottom wing is one piece. If you push up on the wing to close that gap, you know what I mean? Push up on the wing. The dehedral is actually perfect once you push it up and it fills the crack, but it's not a great fit. One wing's slightly longer by about 2 millimeters than the other half, so you got that problem to deal with. Somebody else was working on their new molds, not the usual A-team at Special Hobby. I downloaded the mask set and I just did my own masks for this kit. My apologies, I didn't buy it properly from the company because I only had a week to do this. So the magazine gave me a week to do it.
Hey, Harvey?
Yeah.
If you attach the top wings first and then bolt on the bottom, would that help it?
Yeah, that would do too. You could do that too, Lorenzo. Absolutely. Either way would work. right? It's just
Right.
that if you were to leave it as is, you'd start freaking out and
Oh,
start,
yeah.
right? And then if you puttied, that's a good question. If you puttied it, it would be wrong because the dehedral's wrong, right?
Right.
So you have to push the wings together. The windows are really nice, but these don't fit. And I had to use that micro crystal clear. They don't fit at all. That's the model done just at the rear
Wow.
portion. So once you
Nice.
fill in everything, it does look, the decals though are beautiful.
Wow.
These decals are right from the kit and applied over the camo. They have no underbleed. That's what it looks like finally finished. I'll just, there's the weathering. I do a bit of armor weathering on this. That's the underside. That's the final product,
Sweet.
right? Yeah, it was a bitch to do. I don't know whether I do another one. There is another one coming out, but it's a unique aircraft, right? Transport, probably one of the most advanced that the Japanese Army had. And I used a custom micron airbrush to the custom micron I had. It took me literally an hour to do this whole scheme. It ain't me, it's the airbrush, guys.
Wow.
That's the cover. It should be coming out any day now over here. Should be hitting the bookshelves, maybe even next week. But this is the copy that the editor shared with me. So, and that's it. And I'll stop it there.
That's classic. That's classic old special hobby
Yeah,
kit building. That's what that is.
that is.
I built a couple ones because they're sometimes, like you said, Harvest, the only game in town.
Yeah.
Right.
Some of them are good, right, David? Some of them are really good. And this one was, oh my God.
It's like